Warning, the following program is designed for casual wrestling fans and is meant purely for entertainment. If you're SAWFT, proceed at your own risk. Viewer discretion is advised.
Brother, I'm going run a wild Hulk Hogan. If I like get some moment, I'll make sure it's an explosion. Cause lately I've been seeing stars trying to kick out of this chokehold. But it's no holds barred. Middle fingers like I'm Stone Cold.
What is up, everybody? We are back with the first episode of the year with me and Wavy D. This is the Slapping Me Wrestling Podcast. It's been about a month since we've seen Wavy D on the show. Since I've really done an episode. Looking forward to a great 2025. And so, as always, just like we've always started the show, just recommend you guys going to the show notes or the description and going through the WWE shop link. We also got that Expedia link, and most importantly, join the Discord. Let's get this thing lived up. We maybe we could start building some conversation there during episodes, or most importantly, you can vote for Thirsty Tuesday, which we have a new bracket that starts tonight. But before we get there, we got to start the same way we always do with Let's Get Cooking. And we got to start with a banger to start 2025. So this prompt is, if you had to place a title on one person who currently does not have one, who is it, what title do they get, and what is the storyline as to why they have the title? You can start with this one.
All right. So I was giving this question a little bit of thought when I was making sandwiches at my second job, my night job. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know, Wavy D, I work two jobs, you know what I'm saying? And so I was at my night job. And so I'm making sandwiches. I'm like, shit, which wrestler needs a title right now? All right. And so I'm cheating a little bit because this wrestler got a title, but he needs two titles.
Okay.
We need double strap Gunther in the building.
Oh no.
The double belt Gunther. You know what I'm saying? To show his dominance. Not joking. Let's see. Someone needs a title. Hear me out. We're bringing back the cruiserweight title, okay?
Okay.
Or no, screw that. We're bringing back the light heavyweight title.
Okay.
And we're putting that baby on Montez Ford, okay? So my game plan is we're getting rid of the U.S. title, okay? Fuck Shinsuke. Fuck the U.S. title. U.S. title's crap. It looks beautiful, though. It's a beautiful looking title. It's probably the best looking title in all professional wrestling right now. Don't at me. But it's the best looking title in all professional wrestling, especially WWE. But we're getting rid of the U.S. title, and we're getting a light heavyweight title, okay?
Okay.
Because if you look at the way the titles are set up, it makes sense. You got your WWE Championship. You got your World Heavyweight Championship. And then you got your Intercontinental Championship. All right. Intercontinental and World title. We kind of talked about this in the Discord a little bit. What's the difference between Intercontinental title and World title? Apparently, correct me if I'm wrong, the Intercontinental title connects Canada, the U.S., and Mexico.
So that would be like the North American. Intercontinental just means it can be defended on all 7 continents.
There was difference between that and the world title.
I mean, name-wise, nothing really, but...
But anyway, we'll keep the Intercontinental title, okay? We all know that's like the... when you're on the rise, all right? But I think we should break it. I think we should break it back down into weight. Okay, so superstars like a Seth Rollins. Okay, like if you want to go for the big belt of the company, be the face of the company, you can go for the WWE Championship, but you don't fall in the weight bracket of the heavyweight championship. All right, I want the big boys fighting the big boys for the world heavyweight title. All right, your Gunthers versus your Damian Priest, your Julius Creeds, your Braun Strowmans. Okay, have more of like Otis's, kind of have like little slugfests, and then you got your light heavyweight, which is like a lot of your technical wrestlers. Okay, a lot of your top wrestlers. We could throw superstars in there like Seth Rollins, uh, Matt Riddle if it fits that build. Montez Ford fits that build. Um, Shinsuke fits that build. As far as like weight and size, and Chad Gable. Okay,
Mm.
and so I want to put Montez Ford in this role because we all know Montez needs a title. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and his light heavyweight title is going to be on SmackDown. It's to replace the U.S. title, and so it just makes sense. We're going to push Montez. We're going to split him from Dawkins, okay, in the transfer. So it's not even like they got to like split up because one of them turned on each other. We'll just split them up in the transfer, make it easy and simple. They can reunite down the line, like no problem, no continuity error, and we'll see what we can get on Montez.
Mm. Okay. So my answer is Dominic Mysterio.
Mm.
Needs a title. Best member of the Judgment Day right now. Though, we'll talk about Raw, and I got some thoughts on what I think they're doing with him here in a minute. But I would have him win the World Heavyweight Championship. But he can't just beat Gunther because that's not believable. It'll be a cash in, and so part of the story that I'll build here is at some point down the line, Finn Balor or Damian Priest, either two it works for, wins the title, and then that's when Dominic will come in and cash in for the championship. Because I think at some point the story that we're telling on Raw right now appears as Dominic's going to be like the lone man out of the Judgment Day. If you just see the way that Liv's sort of treating him now, and for good reason, he tried to flip back to mommy. Like, you can't just do that. Like, I get it, but you can't just do that. Liv is too vindictive for that. So it appears that he's about to be like that lone guy, which is good. He needs to be by himself. I think he can carry himself at this point. But yeah, cash in the title or cash in Money in the Bank on like a Finn Balor, or Priest would be a good one to cash into as well. Even Gunther is believable if it's a cash in. He just can't. I don't think he can win it like on a 1-on-1 match. But like, have Gunther like defend against someone like a Priest or like Jey Uso or something like that, who's a big star that can take Gunther to the limit, and then have Dom sort of do what he always does best and weasel his way in to be world champion. I think it's simple. It'll draw the heat that he can bring, and it'll be a lot more entertaining than what we have right now for the World Heavyweight Championship. But we'll move on. We'll talk about SmackDown from Friday first, real quick. If you have anything you want to, talk about it, your overall thoughts on the episode, you can go first, and then I'll add in what you don't.
I like the Morrissey Machine Guns versus Theory and Waller. I thought the tag team match was very well executed. It seems like Morrissey Machine Guns are starting to get over more with the crowd week by week. The crowd's starting to cheer a lot more during the match and be more engaged in the match, which is about time they realize the greatness that's in front of them. Kevin and Cody, that program, it's cool. They definitely need to get to Rumble already though, because I don't know how many times we can do like a chase Kevin out of the arena kind of thing.
Yeah, the brawl every week worked for like the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But every time you do it, if you do it every week for 8-week period of time, it sort of gets a little bland.
And if we want to get a little more personal with it, yeah, we should do like one of them gets in the other guy's house or whatever. I know I know WWE kind of wants to stay away from the home invasion angle, but you don't gotta do it when he's at the house. Just do him like vandalizing Cody's house, or when Cody's on the road at
It doesn't.
SmackDown,
It
Kevin
doesn't even
Owens like
right.
breaks
I
some
mean,
shit.
the house is great, but it could just literally be like Cody's in the middle of the ring, and they pan the camera backstage, and Kevin's on his bus, like
Oh yeah, in the bus.
tying up Brandy and stealing Pharaoh and shit like that.
Tying up his wife and taking the dog. Now, Loki, yo, they should do something like that. Have him take the dog off the bus
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Let's spice up a little bit. Let's put some more, a little more elements into this, a little more layers.
Yeah.
The women's fatal 4-way match. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Celtics were on, so
That was
I grabbed on Friday night.
that was Nia Bailey.
Yeah, Nia Bailey,
yeah.
Naomi, and Bianca.
Yeah.
So I started watching a little bit of the match. It was cool, but at that point, the Celtics were playing, and I was like, I'll just catch this later. So I went to go watch the Celtics game. The Celtics lost, I believe. So I thought on my watching they're slacking a little bit. But anyways, I wasn't feeling SmackDown a whole lot. And we probably gonna dive into this a little bit later because the Corey Graves thing. But SmackDown commentary team, I'm not feeling the Barrett and Tester, whatever his name is, Testerini, whatever his name is, Mike Testeroni. What's his name?
Joe Tessitore.
Joe Tessitore.
So
I'm not feeling that pairing.
So did you like them on Raw? Because it's the same pairing.
No, it wasn't Graves and
It was Graves and Cole on SmackDown, and then Barrett and Tessitore on Raw. It's the same pairing. The only thing that changed is Michael Cole went to Raw to be with Pat, and Corey Graves got sent down to NXT, and God knows where he's at tonight. I haven't watched NXT yet, so I don't know if he was even on TV or not.
I thought it was Corey and Joe and Cole and Barrett.
No.
Well, I wasn't feeling this past SmackDown, especially with no Corey Graves on commentary. I wasn't feeling SmackDown.
So I have a response. I meant to respond in the Discord when you said that, but it's good we could save it here because I'm the same way. I wasn't feeling SmackDown this week. It wasn't the commentary though. I actually like Joe Tessitore because he's a very good storyteller.
I feel like he runs out of stuff to say. Like when the wrestlers are making their entrances, usually you got like Cole talking the guy up, tell you about the story or whatever. Jay Uso had like a 4-minute entrance on SmackDown or whatever, and I swear Barrett and Joe ain't say one word, and it was literally 4 minutes of Jay.
I think they were instructed to do that. I think they wanted to.
Bad.
I mean, it was bad, but I think it's because WWE wants Jay to sort of have that element where like the crowd can feel Jey Uso. I also think Tessitore because he comes from like an actual sports world. He's not one of these guys that are just going to sort of like start spitting off a script, and that's why I like it. It makes it more realistic. To me, his ability to tell stories in the ring and like sort of eventually I'll get to this point. Everyone already knows how I feel about him. Pat McAfee, fantastic guy on College Game Day, has a great podcast. When he's talking sports, I'll listen to him all day. I'm tired of it's been 2 weeks and I'm tired of seeing him on the TV. I think he steals away moments, and he doesn't, because of who he is, and he doesn't fit into like he doesn't know how to tell stories. I think is what I'm trying. Like he just starts saying random shit, and he does things like we'll take an example. Week 1 of Netflix, and Travis Scott comes down and he's smoking the blunt, which I don't have a problem with. I mean, The Rock literally got in the car after drinking. Like, look, I don't have a problem with it. But Pat McAfee reaches over and is like, "Oh, let me get a hit." Like, I'm sorry, that's something that like that shouldn't happen on live TV. And Pat's not going to listen to rules, so I feel Triple H looks at Pat and says, "We need Pat McAfee because of his name. It adds to the show." But in reality, Pat McAfee just doesn't know how to shut up at certain moments, and he says stupid shit.
I feel like Pat adds the aspect of like the fan, like WWE fan who wishes they're a commentary. You know, say he says like what we're thinking. You know, so I like the aspect
which is cool and all, but at the same time, you have to. So like if I like watching wrestling, but there's a reason I'm not a commentator because I'm not good at it. At some point, you have to put someone on the screen. You know, does he bring a fan perspective? Sure, but at the same time, he's not good at the job. And so I would rather.
He's gotten certain wrestlers over. There's certain wrestlers who I feel like Pat has gotten, who has helped get over.
But for every wrestler he's gotten over, how many moments has he stolen from somebody?
I don't look at the moments as being stolen. Like if you're letting a commentator steal your moment, is it really your moment?
I think at times. So for an example would be Rumble 2 years ago. There, you know, and this isn't necessarily a wrestling segment, but they had the live music performance with Hardy, and Pat McAfee's over there, and I don't know if production forgot to turn his mic off or they didn't think he would start singing, but this motherfucker starts singing into the microphone over the guy who's paid to sing.
That was a production problem. That's not, that's not a Pat problem.
I don't know. I feel like he needs to shut up at certain points. Like, let people have that moment. And
even Pat aside, looking at the Barrett and Joe Testatori, Joe Testaridis, looking at those guys, honestly, I think Joe is the better commentator out of him and Barrett, but it's just that Joe and Corey do the same job. So, and Corey is better than both of them. So that's why I think it should be Corey and Barrett. But Barrett is the worst out of the three of them.
I'd agree with it. I would have rather Barrett, because Barrett at least has chemistry with the NXT team. Because before Booker T got there, he was the guy running it with Vic Joseph. So, like, I don't know if you watched NXT last week.
I like Booker T and Vic Joseph.
I do. I like it. I don't think there should have been any changes. My whole argument is that Pat McAfee should have never been added in the first place. We should have just kept the commentary the way it was. And if you needed Michael Cole for Raw, because that sells it, I don't think the commentary should be that important for Netflix. But
I like the 3-man team of Cole, Graves, and Pat McAfee. I like the 3-man team.
Yeah,
I think it can give a good, if they want to do like, Graves, digs into the heel kind of commentator, while Pat digs into the face commentator, and then Cole plays the straight guy in the middle. Kind of like how Raw did back in the day.
Right.
Well, not back in the day, but like.
So the problem with that is I don't think Pat would be able to distinguish just being a face, because I think there's certain people that are heels that Pat vibes with that I think he would act on accident. So I would have him be sort of the fan perspective, like you just said, have Michael Cole be the face, because I think Cole could do that. And then, of course, Graves is probably the best heel on commentary right now. If he needed to be. I'm going to get into this more on Friday, but I think this is storyline purpose. Or at least I hope it's storyline, because there's been a lot of rumors that Graves has been cleared to get back in the ring. And I think part of this could be an avenue to do that.
Graves the disgruntled.
I mean, you could do Graves versus Pat. But I think, whatever you do, Graves has to be a heel. I don't know if you saw his NXT. This was like 2014 before he got hurt. He was probably the best. Yeah, he was probably one of the best heels they had in NXT at the time. Before he had the neck injury. But yeah, SmackDown, I'll agree with you. It was dry. 3 hours is a great idea. They just need something to put on TV that's interesting. for the
Oh
whole
yeah.
3 hours.
And another thing was that Nick Aldis fell into the Adam Pearce trope,
Mm-hmm.
where we're like halfway through the show, and he's still putting matches on.
Right.
Because like there's a certain point where we got to the last match that was advertised,
Mm-hmm.
and we still had like 40 minutes left of the show.
Right. And we're like, oh, what's ending this? So
Yeah.
for me, the only thing that I was somewhat interested, I mean, we already sort of discussed Cody and Kevin. Their stuff is great. It's going to be a great match. The problem is they're sort of like really dragging along the whole story aspect of it, and there's really not much to it. Where if it's just basically, I hate you, I'm going to beat you every week out of the arena, and Kevin Owens gets pushed out or whatever. Not a big fan of that. I think the Wilder Guns match was fantastic. Very good match. I'm not sold on the Guns.
Yeah.
I'm just not. He said yet. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm just not sold on them.
I wasn't a fan of the triple threat match.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not triple threat match. The 6-man tag team match.
Yeah.
It was Cody. I forgot. It was Cody, Jimmy, and who was it? Cody, Jimmy, and
was it Sammy?
Yeah, Cody, Jimmy, Sammy versus Tama, Solo, and Fatu.
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan of the 6-man tag match.
So that was like the main event. That was like the main event, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't watch it. I'll be honest with you. As soon as Tiffany Stratton left my TV screen, I turned it off. That was the only thing I was interested in. And it feels that's the only like fresh thing that we have going on right now. Like even the new the women's IC title or women's US, very good match. But I feel like they need to be doing more to like Meechin can't be the only person who wants that title.
Mm.
And I feel like this needs to be a title that can build that mid-card division. Where I mean, it doesn't have to be a title match every week, but I mean, you can have like number one contenders matches every week, or like qualifiers to some tournament or something. Like you can be creative with it.
Well, that's the problem with having these two mid card titles. I was saying is that the women's roster isn't bolstered enough to have two main card and two mid card.
I don't think it's not. So again, but it comes down to booking, and
the tag team titles.
So get rid of the tag team titles. I think that's an easy solution. I've been saying that forever, but especially since like Bianca and Naomi aren't really doing anything with them. They're in the main title picture, so you can just get rid of them and no one would actually care. I don't think it's not that the roster's not bolstered. They're only pushing Chelsea and Meechin at the moment, and I feel like
who else is on the SmackDown roster?
You could put Candice LeRae in it. There's no reason Bayley couldn't be in this division. This could be a way to springboard her. I mean, I get she has a title match on Friday, but Bayley could be in it to give it some prestige. You can work around the roster. Blair Davenport sitting in catering, doing absolutely nothing.
Wait, but she was in the qualifying matches or the tournament. She had just lost.
Right, but that doesn't mean she can't come out and say, I want this title. Do it the way that NXT's been doing it. NXT's been putting some sort of match for this title on TV every single week, and it's someone you may not even think should be in this title picture. And they're just use the women. It doesn't have to. That's the part of being a booker. And that was what my response to you is it's not that the roster's not good enough. The roster's not good enough because they're not booking them to be good enough. And I think that's the
NXT also has a bigger talent pool to pull from week by week.
Yes, sure. NXT has its advantages, but let's not act like you can't put B-Fab and Blair Davenport in a match.
Yeah, but the problem is that I guess it goes back to booking. But we already know they're not putting no title on B-Fab. She could barely wrestle. But Maxine's a better wrestler than her.
Look, all the backstage reports saying that the people in creative love B-Fab, that she's the hardest worker on the roster.
She could be a hardest worker and still be a bad wrestler.
So that could be the storyline. At this point, they're baby faces. She could go in, talk about how she's put in work since 2019 and no one's ever cared about her. There's her story. and then you give her this underdog run where maybe she comes real close to the title and then loses
She
or
also got
something like
change.
that.
She got to change her hair too. Her hairstyle isn't the best for wrestling. It looks terrible on screen. Well, it looks terrible in matches, I should say.
But you asked like who's on the roster. You got Blair Davenport. I've already mentioned. Candice LeRae should be in this picture. Elektra Lopez can wrestle. She's actually pretty decent at it. We got Meech in here.
But probably two of those girls are valets at this current point. So it looks like you're just taking a valet to fight for this title or put this title picture. They're not. You said it, but they're not booked into the right spot right now. It's where like you're pulling valets for a title opportunity. It makes your roster look, dry bones, skin and bones.
I guess my issue with it is that it's painfully obvious that Chelsea has this solely because we know we're getting the Piper Chelsea turn at some point, and I feel like I don't know what else you need. Like, there's women on the roster. Naomi's there. That was my whole argument. Like, there should only be like 3 people in the main title picture at a time, because only one person can hold that title. The mid-card title, the whole point is to essentially carry the TV show and have matches. And so one week you could have sort of how I actually like how AEW does their title matches at times. Have Chelsea Green in a match against a BFAB, and if BFAB beats her, she gets a title match. And more than likely, you're not going to see BFAB win. But on the off chance she does, then the next week you get a title match. And you can put women in the ring together. It's not that hard. Just Bayley versus Meechin, Bayley versus Piper Niven, Meechin versus Elektra Lopez. I'm just tired of seeing Chelsea versus Meechin for 8 weeks in a row.
Hey, it's time to call up these NXT women.
Well, yeah, that's also a problem. Is we do need to take some of the NXT lifers and move them on up.
Roxanne Perez, push her right to the world title. We're pushing Roxanne right past Rhea Ripley.
No.
Right past Tiffany Stratton. We're pushing Roxanne to the moon.
Nah.
Yep.
Nah. Anyway, let's move over to Raw, because as boring as I thought SmackDown was,
Raw was amazing last night.
Raw was fantastic.
8.5 out of 10 last night.
I'll go around that range. It's an 8, 9, in that range. First off, this drone shot, I can't wait to be at Raw in a month.
Smack the drone there.
The drone, that drone footage is fantastic. I love it. Netflix is really paying for production here. Let's talk about. We start the show with Punk, Rollins, and McIntyre with a banging promo to start the show. And that turns into the next segment was Gable, right?
Yes.
So the debut, not really a surprise because we kind of knew about it. We kind of knew about this like a month ago. But the man Penta Zero Miedo is here. What do you think of his match?
The match is really good. There was a couple of sloppy spots at the start, but I kind of tossed it up to the difference between WWE ropes and AEW cables. So as we all know, WWE use ropes and they tape the ropes.
They use
whereas
the
AEW uses the cables.
Mm-hmm.
So you get a little more bounce off of it and whatnot. The match itself was really good. It was only a 13-minute match. I felt like it was longer just because it was action-packed and had a lot of stuff in it.
Since you brought up time, there's a lot of reports going that it went over and that there were. Do you think that's real, or do you think
I think those are bullshit reports? And if they are, if superstars are, if there are some talent that's upset, it's like, bro. First of all, it's homie's debut. Okay,
right?
It's getting numbers. It's getting the most the most views on WWE social media.
Mm-hmm.
Like this man's not gonna have a promo every single week. The match is only 13 minutes.
But also, it's Netflix. There's no time restraints.
Yeah, that's what
Like,
I'm saying.
like, there's no such thing as going over on Netflix. He could have kept going on that promo. I mean, obviously, at some point, you would have wanted him to shut up,
Yeah.
but he could have done another 2-minute promo, and Netflix doesn't care. There's no time restraints.
Raw ended a half hour early.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what the whole idea. I'm with you. It's bullshit. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something here with Penta. I've watched his work in AEW, and some of his work in Lucha Underground, some of his work in TNA online that I've seen. This has been the best Penta match I've ever watched. Simply because this man in one match did what Ricochet can never do. And how many years he was in WWE? Like, he just gets it. He picked up the WWE style of selling. Bro sold that leg injury like Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
And is he perfect at the WWE stuff? No. But if he got it on his first match to where I believed in him, that was the best match. Like, Chad Gable with his style, which is mostly sort of like the technical, like ground and pound, like amateur style wrestling, merged with. I thought we were going to get the AEW Penta, which was, tightrope walking the ropes and flips and super kicks, and we didn't get it, and it was a perfect match. And no overselling. He hit what we're going to call the Mexican Destroyer, and holy shit, we actually sold it.
We sold the Destroyer.
And then the promo. I mean, Pat McAfee said, like you said, what we were thinking. Couldn't understand half of it, but you could read the emotion through his mask on his eyes. And you put the kids out front, and the wife or the girlfriend or the sister, whoever it was, the woman that was out there. That
there was one girl he kissed, and there was another one that he high fived.
Yeah.
But
you put them out there, and that was great strategy, because what WWE did was made you emotionally invested in Penta. For bro's probably the biggest baby face on the roster right now. Like, you're emotionally invested in this guy. And, he seemed genuinely happy. Part of me kind of feels like we might get a Lucha Bros reunion sooner than people think. Part of me feels like Phoenix will be here before Mania.
He has a great look, Penta.
Yeah.
He looks like a WWE like created wrestler.
Yeah.
The mask, the attire, like he's gonna sell merch. I heard the masks are already hard to come by, and everybody's scooping them up. And and then the rest of the show went good. From my own personal my own personal taste, I felt the slow part was when they got into the Kaiser and Sheamus match, and then I'm pretty sure followed that up with the Gunther promo.
Yeah.
I feel like that segment right there was kind of slow, because I don't know how many times we've seen Sheamus and Kaiser. I feel like
it's one of those where like this feels like we're getting another best of 7 here.
Yeah, there's too much of that. I just the way they wrestle. Yes, it's hard hitting, it's entertaining, but when those two are on my screen, I find myself grabbing my phone a little more, because I already know how the match is gonna go, and then I just kind of zone out of those two.
And there's really no purpose to it. I mean, the whole purpose of this segment was to have Sheamus win so he can go over and stare down Braun Breaker, and I feel like you could have done that in a promo. Rhea had a segment where he was sort of interrupted by Nia and Wavy.
Nia was looking good. Oh my god, bro! Nia was looking good.
But I'll say this, and I understand we're on the push towards Rumble, and so Rhea's not going to have like a legitimate match at that point. We'll probably get like Rhea versus like Raquel, which is still going to be a good match. But she needs a legitimate contender for this title. I don't need, like they had they had Nia in the ring, they had Bayley ended up in the ring, but she's on SmackDown, so I mean, this whole transfer thing, I don't know when it's going to be over. Is
Well,
this just
she was there because the show was
right?
her hometown.
Right. That makes sense. What doesn't make sense is the fact that Bailey's on SmackDown and they schedule SmackDown for San Diego and Raw for San Jose. They should have done it backwards. They should have done San Diego yesterday and then San Jose when Bailey is scheduled to actually wrestle. But it is what it is. Jay and Gunther is going to be the match at Saturday night's main event. I think this is going to be a banger match.
I don't know. You got four move Jay. And then, and you got Gunther who he got 4 finishing moves, but the rest of his offense was just slaps and suplexes. I don't know. I think the match, I guess, could be good. I'm just hesitant because of each other's movesets. It's gonna be a lot of like Gunther smacking Jay, and Jay trying to be the resilient underdog who's gonna try to make a little comeback, hit some super kicks.
I was gonna say, what's the over under on super kicks?
Bro, no. The real question is who's got is be more slaps or more super kicks?
That's a good question. We should definitely have. I don't know if Nerdy D's gonna be there live, but he should have the little signs that have the numbers. So the last, 2 more notes I have. The first one is this year's Rumble is already stacked.
Yeah.
It's crazy how stacked this is. You got Roman in, you got Punk in, Cena's there. Rollins, I think, has announced that he's going to be in it. On the other side, Nia Jax said she was going to be there. I don't think anyone else on the women's side has been confirmed yet, but
did Bailey say she was going to be in it? Or
I'm
no?
sure. I may have missed it, but
I don't know. I can't recall. But she's a title match coming up though against Stiffy.
Yeah, right? On Friday, right? Yeah, I think it's on Friday.
I would assume so. I don't know.
But the last thing that I have for this show, other than, I guess I just thought of this one. WWE's going to silently just move the Wyatt Six to SmackDown. Yeah. Netflix didn't even want these motherfuckers.
I don't think Netflix. I don't think Triple H and Netflix want to deal booking around them on Netflix.
Right.
I don't know. Move them to SmackDown. Let them. I don't know. I think it'd be a good feud with they're gonna do Cross versus Sami Zayn, and they're gonna kind of dive into. I'm ready to see what Cross and them dive in with Sami, but I don't know. I mean, as far as the Wyatt Six, maybe have them haunt Roman or something. I don't know. Haunt
At
Solo.
this point, I ain't miss them, so I ain't even really give a fuck about them. So.
Lyra and Dakota had a banger match.
Yeah, that was the last little thing we had. What a match this was.
Look at the suplex off the apron to the floor.
That match was great. So many crazy spots. I felt like Lyra was. I mean, Dakota was the one I was cheering for, but I knew Lyra was winning this, and because I think what we're heading into is picking up Lyra and Becky from NXT. Becky's whole motivation for this is now that they added these 2 new titles, she ain't won all the titles in the company no more. So now she got to go win them all. And so I think that'll be a fun feud. Becky will definitely put over Lyra that way.
You know, Dakota, she's the either pick it up or get rid of that haluva kick type move. It was looking a little weak.
Where she runs? Yeah, so
she hit it twice. It looked weak.
Yeah, so she's one of those like Tegan Knox. She's not athletic at all.
And it used to look good in NXT. It looked good. I mean, I know she was a little younger then, but it looked solid in NXT.
Well, she was younger, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that she's torn both ACLs 4 times. So, but that run, maybe it was just the camera angle. It definitely
maybe even the kick itself looks slow.
Yeah,
it looked weak.
So we're gonna end.
Oh, yeah, Priest and Finn.
Street fight. That is right. That was a good match.
I dozed off after the table spot because they went to commercial, and then they came back where Finn was on the gurney or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was slightly dozing off, but then I woke up, and then Priest grabbed him off the gurney, brought him back into the ring, and then Priest got jumped, and then I was like, okay, well, War Raiders should be coming out here pretty soon, and the War Raiders came out, but then once the War Raiders hit the ring, I passed out. I was fighting sleep last night.
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent match. I think the feud's over, so I do have to change my early predictions for Mania and take them off of it and figure out who's going to replace them.
That table spot was wild though.
Yeah,
The broken angel off the what's it called? The entryway, whatever it was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Off the balcony, that was crazy.
So we're gonna end this with who is your MVP of the week and why?
My MVP of the week is Nia Jackson Stylist. Nia in the cheetah print onesie, the bodysuit. She was looking right, but Nia Jackson looking right. As far as like in ring competitors and like in ring competitors who helped advance stories this week. My MVP probably Penta.
Yeah,
I mean, I still call him Penta L0. It's just easier to say, but
yeah.
Penta, what is it? Penta.
So I think they're just calling him Penta in WWE, but it was so he has like 40 names. He's Pentagon Junior, Penta L0, Penta Zero Miedo.
Yeah,
I just call him Penta. At this point, just call him Penta. So
I'm calling Penta L0.
I agree with that. I think definitely from like a match perspective, I think he's the MVP. But I'm gonna officially nominate Tiffany Stratton for carrying SmackDown this past week. Like at least for me, because that was the only segment I was actually looking forward to. Is what was she gonna say? And at this point, I mean, that was basically. I mean, as soon as that happened, and she left the screen, I turned SmackDown off. So I thought SmackDown was quite boring.
My MVP going back to last Rumble. So we're almost at this Rumble. So if we kind of look at a year rewind, as far as the women's division, I gotta give Nia Jax my MVP, bro. She's holding SmackDown down, and she's coming to Raw, pull double duty a little bit. She's the top heel in wrestling. Okay, she's the top heel. Sorry, as far as women's wrestling on WWE. Okay, because people like Liv, people like Rhea, but everybody hates Nia. Okay, everyone hates Nia. Nia's doing her thing. She's expanding her offense, and she expanded her selling. Homegirl's out here doing flips off the rope now, flips off the turnbuckle, selling like Karen Carradas and Spanish flies.
Yeah, she can stop doing that though.
You saw Naomi hit that Spanish fly on her?
Ain't no need for it.
Yo, Nia Jax is putting in work right now. All right, you gotta put some respect on Nia's name, okay?
Ain't no need for it.
She's putting in work.
But we're gonna transition over to the questions from the Discord. B Master had some for us back after the last episode. I told him I'd do them on this episode, and then I think he asked one more since then. So the first one that he asked was, which company, this is a multi-tiered question, has the best men's division, the best women's division, and the best tag division? So we'll start with the tag division. Whose tag division you think is better, WWE or AEW?
That's a trick question. Because like AEW has like 3 good tag teams.
Right.
But like they don't use them well.
Right. So my question was,
but WWE has a lot of good tag teams, but don't use any of them.
Right. So my question was like, are we judging like the roster? Because without a doubt, it's WWE. They just don't put the tag team division in a position to thrive. And if they did, it would leaps and bounds be one of the best divisions in wrestling.
Loki, I want to say NXT has the best tag team division.
Yeah, NXT definitely.
As far as the last year is concerned.
What about women's division?
NXT.
Yeah.
But WWE as a whole, I feel like WWE has the main roster has the best wrestlers, but since their top talent are split between two rosters, but NXT gets to use all of their top talent on one
Yeah.
show,
Yeah.
it looks better. But WWE has the best. The main roster has the best women's division.
And then men's division.
Um, as far as in ring talent, AEW has some very solid men's competitors. It's just that Tony Khan can't book for shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
WWE, what I'm saying, we have the megastars, superstars, as far as your Romans, your Drew McIntyre, your Seth Rollins, your Codys, your CM Punks, and we got some solid mid carders who are holding the show week to week basis. I gotta say, across the board, WWE got the best divisions, main roster wise. NXT has the best tag team division.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I guess you can make a case that TNA is up there for the women's division, but kind of it fell off a little bit because Jordan Grace started doing more and more work in NXT.
Right. Right.
She's on her way out, and they kind of fumbled the bag and lost like half their roster pretty soon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Next question he asked is, if WWE doesn't care about tag team wrestling, why did they put all the effort into making new tag titles at WrestleMania?
Because of fan pressure. We were asking for them forever.
Yeah. I think the new design was one. You wanted, I think the same way they did.
Uniformity.
Yeah, they wanted uniform looking titles for the whole brand. So SmackDown looks the same, Raw looks the same. But I also think it added to the Mania match itself. We were asking for them to split the titles. We were asking for them to give us new champions, and they did that. I just don't think Triple H, I don't think people recognize this. And, I know I'm hard on Triple H, but I mean, it's hard putting together a women's division, a tag division, a men's division, and giving everyone equal time. And I think it's just to a case to where like the tag division gets forgotten about. And I feel like if he focuses on the tag division, the women's division is going to suffer, or the mid card singles titles are going to suffer. So, and then his last question is, do you think Rey Mysterio needs to retire from in-ring competition because he never seems to put anyone over? And he's done everything and won every title that he can more than once.
I mean, as far as like being an in-ring competitor, Rey Mysterio can still out wrestle half these guys on the roster.
Yeah.
So as far as like being a capable wrestler, Rey Mysterio still got years in him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think
go ahead.
I don't think he needs to retire. I just think he needs to be in a position to where he shouldn't be like the leader of NWO, like wrestling wise. Like he should be like the mentor that's getting Dragon Lee over. And it seems like he's the main guy they use for that team. And I think that's why it feels like he's not putting anyone over.
If you think about it, Rey Mysterio is like the main reason Judgment Day got over.
Yeah.
Him and Edge put the new version over.
Yeah.
And then when Dom turned, Ray put Judgment Day over.
Yep.
And Dominic. I mean, the problem with I guess is that they're trying to pair like Mexican Hispanic wrestlers with Rey Mysterio because they're trying to find the next Rey Mysterio.
Mm-hmm.
And so with the whole LWO thing, I think that was just for historic nostalgic purposes.
Yeah, it was strictly nostalgia.
And I don't think Ray lacks putting people over. I feel like I see Ray lose a lot of matches to put talent over. But it's just that Ray hasn't been booked so strong in a while that beating him doesn't really feel that special.
Right. Yeah, absolutely agree with all of that. So let's transition to everyone's favorite part of the night, and that is Thirsty Tuesday. So I kind of explained the new bracket on the Friday episode that I released on Friday. So what we're going to do is one matchup from each division. You can only vote in the Discord. Did you want to like vote here, or did you want your vote to count in the Discord vote? How did you want to do it?
I mean, I could say on the show and vote there, I guess.
Okay, so what I'll say on this is I'll announce the matchups, and then we'll vote in the Discord as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, representing team, so we're gonna do one matchup from each company. So we have NXT, TNA, main roster, WWE, and AEW. We're gonna do one matchup from each of the companies. So the first NXT matchup is Julia fighting Jasmine Nix. This is tough. This is a tough one. All right, so that's that one. Representing TNA is going to be Killer Kelly and
Ugly.
and Danny Luna. I'll have pictures in the Discord for those who don't know. Do your research too. Representing AEW will be Julia Hart versus everyone's favorite Britt Baker. And then representing main roster WWE, we are going to have Kathy Kelly versus Chelsea Green.
I take it back. Killer Kelly's not ugly when she doesn't have her mouthpiece in. Her mouthpiece makes her look ugly.
The mouthpiece is unattractive. But with that's going to be the matchups. Any final words you have heading into Friday's episode of SmackDown, and we're about a week and a half away from Saturday night's main event.
Like I was telling y'all, Wavy D recently hopped back on the online dating, some dating apps. You know what I'm saying? Wavy looking for love. You know what I'm saying? And so here's some funny stories. Okay, I hop on a new dating app because I find I've had Tinder for the longest, but Tinder's to the point where it's just filled with bots and just like OnlyFans models and
bots and thoughts.
Exactly. So ain't nothing on there. So I deleted Tinder. Hinge was great until people found out about it.
Right.
Like until people got kicked off of Tinder or realized Tinder sucked, they came to Hinge, and now they're making Hinge suck.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing on social media lately the apps Hilly and Duet.
Okay.
It's Hiley or Hilly, H-I-L-Y.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I've known about it. I'm not on it, but I've heard of it.
And there's another one called Duet.
Okay.
So I hop on the two of them, you know what I'm saying? I think it was Duet. I like that one because it was they force you to photo verify.
Yeah.
So you upload some photos and to start using your account, you got they send you like a pose you gotta do. You got to take a live picture and do the pose to make sure you're actually who it is or whatever.
Yep.
So my first two matches, right? You know what I'm saying? One girl, she was chill. Like they had this feature where you blind text first, you don't know what they look like. You text first, and then after each person sends 5 messages,
then you
and then it shows you their pictures. So I'm talking to Shorty, she cool, whatever, you know what I'm saying. I don't know where she's from or anything yet. And then it shows the picture. She was average looking. She was average. She maybe a 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
Like a Zoe Stark.
No, Zoe's like a baddie, bro. Zoe's like a 7 out of 10. But anyway, so this girl like 5, 6 out of
10. Okay.
And then I look at where she's from. Homegirl is from San Bernardino, California. I'm like, what happened to my local shorties?
Right, bro. Facebook be trying to match me with people in Brazil.
Yeah, I mean matching people in Missouri and stuff. And then my second match, I matched her the regular way where y'all both swipe and then y'all start talking. So I matched with her, whatever. Homegirl was like 22 or whatever. And her bio said she had kids or whatever. So I asked her how many kids she has. She said 3. So dang, 3 kids at 22. That's slow. But then I asked her how old her kids were. She said one was 4 years old, one was 2 years old, and the third one was a month old. I'm like, girl, how is you on dating apps with a 1-month-old? Ain't you still like fixing yourself? Like,
She's still healing.
ain't your body still healing?
Ew.
So my first 2 matches were not off to the best start, but
Yeah.
I got a couple more today. So I've
Okay.
been on for like a day and a half. I got like 5 more matches I've been sniffing through for the past day and a half, and
Alright.
I got some solid contenders. You know what I'm saying? But then one of them, she got a good picture, right? It was a good picture. It's a good solid picture. I was like, is she cute? You know what I'm saying? And I go picture over. She got like a lazy eye, like a big lazy eye. But it was karma. It was karma because my coworker at work, she was talking to this dude. She was talking to this boy, and like all the coworkers, we've been making fun of her because we all said he got a lazy eye, and she's like, he don't got a lazy eye, yada. Like he might do. I can't really tell. It's hard to tell, but it's just karma. Now that I matched with a girl, she got a lazy eye.
Yeah. Well, if y'all like that story, tune in every week for Wavy D's venture to find love. We'll have him update us. We'll have him update us at the end of every show. But other than that, y'all go join the Discord, vote for Thirsty Tuesday, and I'll see you on Friday. Both of us will be back next Tuesday. Same time, same place. Hope y'all have a great rest of your week. Thank y'all for watching.
So hit that subscribe, come along for the ride. AEW, WWE, we're always on side. From fantasy booking to baddies that slay. Slapping, meet, wrestling every Tuesday.